Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating figures. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're exploring the remarkable life of Charlemagne, the medieval warrior king who left an indelible mark on European history. Born in 741 AD, Charlemagne would go on to become one of the most influential leaders of his time, shaping the course of politics, culture, and society for centuries to come. But before he rose to power, Charlemagne's early life was marked by a complex interplay of family, education, and historical context. Charlemagne was born in Liège, a bustling city in what is now modern-day Belgium, to Pepin the Short, king of the Franks, and his wife Bertrada of Lyon. His birth took place in the midst of a tumultuous period in European history, with the Frankish kingdom facing numerous challenges from neighboring tribes and internal power struggles. As a member of the Carolingian dynasty, Charlemagne was born into a world of politics and warfare where the stakes were high and the consequences of failure were dire. As a young boy, Charlemagne would have been immersed in the vibrant culture of the Frankish court, surrounded by the trappings of power and the intrigues of royal politics. His parents, Pepin and Bertrada, were both highly influential figures in their own right, with Pepin having played a key role in the rise of the Carolingian dynasty and Bertrada being a member of a powerful noble family. The couple's marriage had been arranged by Pepin's father, Charles Martel, as part of a broader strategy to consolidate power and secure alliances within the Frankish kingdom. One of the most significant influences on Charlemagne's early life was his education, which was overseen by the revered scholar and theologian Saint Boniface. Boniface had been instrumental in introducing Christianity to the Germanic tribes of Northern Europe and had played a key role in shaping the intellectual and spiritual landscape of the Frankish kingdom. Under Boniface's guidance, Charlemagne developed a strong foundation in Latin, theology, and classical literature, which would serve him well throughout his life. As Charlemagne entered his teenage years, he would have begun to take on more responsibilities within the kingdom, accompanying his father on military campaigns and learning the art of warfare firsthand. In 754 AD, when Charlemagne was just 12 years old, he witnessed the famous ceremony at Saint-Denis, where his father, Pepin, was anointed king by Pope Stephen II. This event would have had a profound impact on the young prince, instilling in him a sense of destiny and purpose. The Frankish kingdom during Charlemagne's childhood was a complex and often tumultuous place, marked by frequent wars with neighboring tribes and the struggle for power among the Carolingian dynasty. In 743 AD, Pepin faced a major challenge from his brother's son, Griffon, who claimed the throne of Aquitaine. This conflict would have exposed Charlemagne to the harsh realities of war and politics at a young age, teaching him valuable lessons about strategy, diplomacy, and leadership. Despite these challenges, Charlemagne's early life was also marked by moments of joy and celebration. In 747 AD, his father married a second wife, Pepin's mistress, who gave birth to a son named Charlemagne. This event would have introduced Charlemagne to the complexities of family dynamics and the intrigues of court politics, where alliances were forged and broken with ease. As we explore Charlemagne's early life, it becomes clear that he was shaped by a complex interplay of family, education, and historical context. His parents, Pepin and Bertrada, instilled in him a strong sense of purpose and ambition, while Saint Boniface introduced him to the ideas of Christian universalism and the importance of education. The tumultuous world around him, marked by wars and power struggles, would have taught him valuable lessons about politics and warfare. The seeds of greatness have been sown, but it would take time, experience, and adversity to cultivate them into the legendary leader he would become. Charlemagne's rise to power began in earnest after the death of his father, Pepin the Short, in 768 AD. Initially, he ruled alongside his brother Carloman, but following Carloman's sudden death in 771 AD, Charlemagne became the sole ruler of the Frankish kingdom. This marked the beginning of an era of unprecedented expansion and reform under Charlemagne's leadership. One of Charlemagne's most significant military campaigns was against the Saxons, a Germanic tribe that had long resisted Frankish rule. The Saxon Wars, which lasted from 702 to 804 AD, were marked by brutality on both sides, but ultimately ended with the incorporation of Saxony into the Frankish Empire. This campaign not only expanded Charlemagne's territories, but also spread Christianity among the Saxon people, further solidifying the Christian foundations of his empire. In addition to his conquests in Saxony, Charlemagne also turned his attention to Italy, where he intervened in the conflicts between the Lombards and the Pope. In 774 AD, he conquered the Lombard kingdom, extending Frankish control over much of Italy and strengthening ties with the papacy. This alliance would prove crucial for both parties, as it provided the Pope with a powerful protector against other European powers and gave Charlemagne the moral and religious authority to legitimize his rule. Charlemagne's military campaigns were not limited to Saxony and Italy. He also launched expeditions into Spain against the Moors, although these were less successful. Despite these setbacks, Charlemagne's military prowess and strategic genius earned him recognition throughout Europe as a formidable leader. Beyond his military achievements, Charlemagne is perhaps equally renowned for his efforts to promote education, culture, and administrative reform within his empire. Recognizing the importance of learning and literacy in governing his vast territories effectively, Charlemagne embarked on a comprehensive program to revive and spread knowledge. He attracted scholars from all over Europe to his court, including the famous Anglo-Saxon scholar Alcuin of York, who played a pivotal role in Charlemagne's educational reforms. The Carolingian Renaissance, as this period of cultural and intellectual flourishing came to be known, saw significant advancements in literature, art, architecture, and education. Charlemagne encouraged the establishment of schools throughout his empire, promoted the study of classical texts, and supported the development of a standardized system of handwriting and illumination. This era also witnessed the production of exquisite works of art, including manuscripts, sculptures, and architectural achievements like the Palace Chapel at Aachen, which became a symbol of Charlemagne's power and legacy. In 800 AD, Charlemagne's achievements were formally recognized by the Pope, who crowned him as the Holy Roman Emperor. This coronation not only marked the pinnacle of Charlemagne's career, but also represented a significant moment in European history, symbolizing the fusion of Frankish power with papal authority and laying the groundwork for the concept of a unified Christian empire. Throughout his reign, Charlemagne implemented various administrative reforms aimed at consolidating his power and ensuring the efficient governance of his vast territories. He divided his empire into counties, each governed by a count who was responsible for collecting taxes, administering justice, and maintaining order. Charlemagne also established the office of the Missi Dominici royal inspectors, who were tasked with monitoring the administration of justice and the collection of taxes across the empire. Charlemagne's personal life was also marked by both joy and tragedy. He had numerous wives and concubines, and his family life was complex, with several sons vying for power and succession. Despite these challenges, Charlemagne remained committed to his vision of a unified and prosperous empire, working tirelessly until his death in 814 AD. He was a visionary leader who recognized the importance of education, culture, and effective governance in building a lasting and prosperous society. His impact on European history is immeasurable, shaping the course of politics, culture, and society for centuries to come. As Charlemagne grew older, he began to think about the future of his vast empire. He had many sons from his various marriages and concubines, but he wanted to ensure a smooth transition of power. In 806 AD, Charlemagne issued the Divisio Regnorum, a decree that divided his empire among his three sons, Charles, Pepin, and Louis. However, fate had other plans, as both Charles and Pepin died before their father, leaving Louis as the sole heir to the throne. Despite these challenges, Charlemagne continued to work tirelessly for the betterment of his empire. He remained committed to his vision of a unified and prosperous society, focusing on administrative reforms and the promotion of education and culture. The Carolingian Renaissance, which began during his reign, saw significant advancements in literature, art, architecture, and education, leaving a lasting impact on European history. Charlemagne's personal life was also marked by both joy and tragedy in his later years. He had several wives and concubines throughout his life, including Desiderata, Hildegard, and Luitgard. His family life was complex, with several sons vying for power and succession. However, despite these challenges, Charlemagne remained devoted to his daughters, particularly Rotrud, Bertha, and Gisela, who played important roles in promoting education and culture within the empire. On January 28, 814 AD, Charlemagne passed away at the age of 71, marking the end of an era. He was buried in the palace chapel at Aachen, which he had built as a symbol of his power and legacy. Louis, his sole surviving son, succeeded him as emperor, but the empire faced significant challenges in the years that followed. The Frankish Empire was eventually divided among Louis' sons, leading to a period of instability and conflict. Despite these challenges, Charlemagne's legacy endured. He had created a vast and prosperous empire that stretched from modern-day France and Germany to Italy and Spain. His promotion of education, culture, and administrative reforms had a lasting impact on European history, shaping the course of politics, society, and culture for centuries to come. Despite the challenges he faced, he remained committed to his vision of a unified and prosperous empire, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and fascinate us today. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.